Genesis 3 gets stranger the more you read it. Did Adam really die? Some stories have been repeated so many times that we no longer truly read them. Genesis 3 is one of them. We think we already know the story. The forbidden fruit, the fall, expulsion, original sin. But when you slow down and read the text carefully, strange details begin to appear. God said, "On the day you eat from it, you shall surely die." But Adam did not die that day. Instead, his eyes were opened, and God did not destroy him. He spoke with him, made garments of skin for him, and sent him out of the garden. So then, what exactly died that day? 1. The story we are used to reading. We usually read Genesis 3 as the story of humanity's fall. Perfect humans sinned, and death entered the world. And that interpretation contains some important truths. The text clearly includes fear, hiding, blame, pain, toil, and death. But the story may be more complex than we assume. The serpent says to Eve, "You will not surely die. Your eyes will be opened, and you will become like God, knowing good and evil." And surprisingly, part of that statement comes true. The Bible actually says their eyes were opened, and Yahweh God himself says, "Behold, the man has become like one of us, knowing good and evil." Isn't that strange? We often remember this story as one of humans being deceived by a complete lie, but the text feels more subtle than that. 2. What died that day? Then we must ask, "You shall surely die." But what kind of death was it? Traditionally, it has been understood as either the beginning of physical death or spiritual death. But inside the story, Adam continues to live. He speaks with God. He has children. He begins history. In fact, he becomes a different kind of human being. Perhaps what died that day was not simply biological life, but a certain state of being. The innocent human, the human who did not know his limits, the human who did not understand the weight of the command, the human who believed himself righteous. That human died, and another human was born, a human who knew shame, a human who learned responsibility, a human who would live through suffering, a human who now understood the weight of good and evil. 3. Was Eden a finished world? We often imagine Eden as a perfect and complete paradise. But in Genesis 1, humanity had already been given a mission: be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth, rule over it. That suggests humanity was never meant to remain inside Eden forever. Sooner or later, they were meant to move outward into the whole world. In that sense, perhaps Eden was not the final destination, but the starting point. Perhaps it was even a training ground, and the forbidden fruit incident may have been the moment. Humanity entered the world of moral responsibility too early. Immature humans stepped into the heavy world of good and evil. Was that why the result became so painful? And yet God did not abandon them. He clothed them and sent them into the world, like parents who no longer keep their grown children inside the fence forever. 4. The word fall never appears in the text. Here is something interesting. The word fall never appears in Genesis 3. It is a later theological term. Yes, humans clearly disobeyed God. But at the same time, the text also describes human awakening, the beginning of responsibility, the entrance into history, and the beginning of civilization. Everything after Genesis 3 happens outside Eden. Agriculture, cities, technology, kingdoms, history itself. All of it happens outside the garden. And strangely, the Bible spends far more time telling the story of humanity outside Eden, almost as if human history truly begins there. So, what is Genesis 3 really about? Perhaps Genesis 3 is not merely a declaration of humanity's failure, but the story of immature humans entering the painful world of responsibility. And God did not abandon them. He clothed them and sent them into the world. The rest of the Bible is the story of those exiled humans. Humans who suffer, learn, fail, rise again, and slowly discover what it means to live under the rule of God. Perhaps Adam did not completely die that day. Perhaps, for the first time, he became truly human.